Getting ready to charge these batteries for the first time. Guys, I already got all the interconnect and got the batteries connected to a bus bar, and you guys seen that all in my videos. So right here is going to be where the inverter is going to be tied into. It's a 1000-watt Magnum 1012, 1000-watt 12 volt, and this is the connection here for the parallel, which is two modules here in series, parallel jumper, positive to positive and negative to negative, and tied from different direction to charge or pull or take power from the battery. So negative here, the positive here, and we pull in the batteries and from this bus bar. Right now, if we put a voltmeter, it's going to be telling us exactly what the voltage on the batteries. And from there, I will take you to the inverters. Like and subscribe. jwsolarusa, live from Minnesota. 12 volt portable generator, mini Powerwall batteries with a generator. Stay tuned. Now grabbing my Fluke meter 101. Well, 600 volt cat 3. Let's charge, or let's check the battery voltage before we go ahead and tie them to the inverters. Here we go. Let's go back, and since I'm operating with one hand here, you know how hard it is, and we're gonna end up putting this thing right here, this probe, and trying to squeeze a little bit just to have a contact. And after doing that, then let's turn the meter right here into volt. So if you don't even know how to test a volt using a voltmeter, you have to put on the volt, which is the V, and 3 dots underneath and a line on top of it. So that's for DC. Okay, don't put it here. That's the AC. The V and this wave line is alternating current. All right, so let's go ahead and check now the voltage. If I touch this probe on that terminal, supposed to be reading 14.3. Okay, let me secure this. There you go, 14.33 volt. So we're going to be charging at 14.33 volts. We're going to be charging all the way to 16 volt. Like and subscribe. jwsolarusa, live from Minnesota. Since we already got our voltage tested, we'll turn the meter off and take the probes out. Let me take you to the inverters where we're going to be starting the process. At this juncture, we don't have to put any disconnects here. This is a temporal test, or just a quick illustration how to go about this. So if you look at my wires here, they're heavy duty. It's gonna be, you can see here is a 1 gauge wire, 1 AWG. See, okay? So, and comes here, and once I'm gonna be going to the inverter, since it's a 12 volt system, and we're going to be using these beefy guys that I already have on my videos. You guys have been seeing this, and these are Royal Excellent. Why I like the Royal Excellent, see, they're all flexible wires, and a welding wire made in USA with a 4-star. They are very expensive, but I have a number 2 here. They're just what I have, 2 hot cable. This number 2, and I have number 1 from the batteries. I would have used this one, but it's too big. The terminal is not gonna fit on that, so I'm just doing what I can do here for test. No disconnect is gonna be a switch or contact, so don't try to penalize me for that or give me hard time, because I know what I'm doing is not I'm not doing a permanent install, which safety and security is going to be in place, or fuse or breakers. So someone's probably going to be mentioning that to me, which I know already. I just want to do a test for you guys to see how we're going to be able to charge the batteries. here we are with the inverters. So right now we're just gonna tie one inverter momentarily and to charge the batteries. So we can choose one of the inverters, either or we want to use, and connect. Remember I showed you the battery wires there, so they're gonna hook up on any one of these inverters. So being said that, and I have the remote monitor wire made by Magnum, and I have a remote monitor. Then I have another second one here. So I have the regular MERC50, MEAR50. These are two different meters. They look alike, but they're different. The functionality and with the advanced technology built into either of them. This is just the standard. It has a shore. This is how you know this is the older model and this is the newer model. And this one you can use on any standard connection, just like on these inverters, or if you're just a starter, then you can come with this. But if you want to go with the PT100, the Magnum 100 charge controller, it's not going to work. It requires this one, the MEARC50, which is as the faves. That's how you know the difference. FAVS, that's favorites. And you're going to see it has the shore here. So don't mistake trying to buy this monitor if you have Magnum with the PT100, or you want the advanced level, or you can want to buy the MERTR, the remote, or the router, sorry, and it's not going to work with this. You need this one. The router needs this one. The PT100 needs this one. If you want to do a parallel connection or stackable inverters, you want to stack them, you need this one with the faves, FAVS. That's the MEARC50, MERC50. So this is the one right here. So what we're gonna do, we can able to test either or meters here by flip this. This already have the box on it, so it's mounted. You can able to use this for sure, or I can use this guy right here. So we're gonna use the advanced model if we want to, or use either or. Well, since we don't just want to do, it's not a full install. It's just that I don't want to untie all the wires, so Magnum makes it easier. You can see the blue indicator goes for the remote, and it's just like a RJ12 cable, which is like a telephone wire, like the ones we used to use back in the day with home telephones, and it has 4 prongs on them if you look at it. So yeah, and you're trying to correspond it right away where it's supposed to be. You hear that snapped. And let's take this meter and set it up here, and while we're gonna start doing our operation connecting the batteries. Before connecting the batteries, I want to show you how the series configuration happened from the back with the Volkswagen e-Golf bus bar interconnects. So this is how it is. So you see I labeled them, and almost losing a label here. So you have the positive side and the negative side here. See that? So that's why we have all the positives and negatives at the front, and we went to the interconnect of the things. These batteries came from a Volkswagen e-Golf 2015. So these are the specs right here. The capacity is 75 amp hour, 543 watt hours. 2014, the batteries were manufactured before the vehicle, so they came from a 2015 vehicle. So this is what it is. Just want to show you. So now we already set up the batteries this way. This is the front, and I called the front side of it. So I'm going to be tying the batteries into this bus bar. The inverters into this bus bar. All right, guys. Now we already got this set up here. We're going to take this nut and try to connect. It's going to be an arc. Well, remember, I mentioned that because I don't have a connection. I'm not gonna have a disconnect into this one old configuration I'm trying to do here, and I'm gonna set up the negative is gonna be on this side coming from here, and we're gonna set it up this way. The way we're gonna hook up this thing, the wire, I meant. So it will come this way, set it up this way, put a washer, you put a lock nut, and put the nut, and try to tighten it by hand, and bring this one here and hook it up to the negative of the battery. Okay, I hope I'm not on the way, and put the nuts and anchor that right here. And what we're gonna do next, we do the same thing from the other side here, which is the positive. Okay, I hope you can see that. Angle that right. You remove the washer, the lock nut, and the washer. So don't put the cable on top of the washers. You have to put it underneath so you can have a proper contact, and put the washer, the lock nut, and the nut. Okay, so now we are in business. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna touch this wire here. It's gonna be an arc. It's gonna be a arc. I hate that feeling. I'm trying to angle it right so I can touch it till it gets all the way. There you go. You see the arc right there, right? I told you, I warned you guys, and the monitor kicks in right away. Then this is a good feeling because it's already in business. And I have to tell you, sometimes people put some resistor or whatever trying to stop that arc. So I have my wrench here, which is a 1/2 inch, if I ever call it, 1/2. So you gotta make sure you tighten up these terminals. Make sure you have a good contact that trying to prevent arcing. If they are not tight enough, it's gonna build up resistance. Resistance is caused by heat, and it's gonna start overheating. It's gonna cause some lot of problems. So that's how wires they're gonna start melting. And we got this one. This 11/16 I have here, and I'm gonna tighten up this bad boy. And after that, I'm gonna be using this cover and protect my terminals. So everything's gonna be nice and cool. So safety first, safety, because if anything drop into these two terminals, it's gonna be a huge arc. You can see flames flying from everywhere. That makes you, I'm telling you, you can feel that rush in your body. You can just like, oh man. And that's how you ruin equipment. And, but the funny thing is how this thing is designed as well. The negative side has a smaller nuts, and the positive have the bigger nuts. I think it's just for people to understand that these are different terminals, and be careful. You can mix the positive to the negative, and we have to come back and tighten up here. Make sure this one is tightened. Yes, and make sure double check, triple check, and come back here. See what I was saying? This one is loosened, so we're gonna make sure that we get it right. This would have been our weakest link here, the weakest link. So I'm careful because this is positive right here. This wrench touches this negative right here. Ooh boy, that's not a good feeling. So I tell you, DC is dangerous. When you get arc and you get zapped by DC, you're gonna get locked into that thing. It's not like AC. DC grabs you. All right, guys, this is what it is. Now we are ready for business. Okay? You can hear me. It's just the joy, the happiness is coming live here, JW. Hey, with the cover, make sure you have this cover. Voila. Remember, safety first. We covered up those things. And let's check this out. Double check everything. Make sure everything is okay. And it sits right there. And let me show you something. Ta-da! Let's see. The meter is working. I want to make sure that this thing stay well. Look at that. Huh? Everything is programmed. No well programmed. Not saying that. So now it's asking for the clock to set our time. Make sure everything is reported clearly. When we have a fault or something, it's going to tell you the time and everything. But this is what it is. So we bypass this. Okay? We're going to bypass the clock. If we want to bypass that. Now the inverter is off. All right, since the inverter is off, I want to make sure that this wire here, let me do this. I don't like to take all this wire, tie this wire, but I'll keep it this way. What about that? Try to keep it this way. We want to do a clean video here. You guys can able to see what is really happening, how you go about this thing. You know, you get so excited sometimes you get almost forget yourself. You know what I mean? Because all of us are like that with the new equipment. And when you have a project, it works. Alright, I'm whispering now. Take a look. We gotta go to the settings here. And we're trying to set the batteries. Okay? Stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Now we are back on the charger. It says charge setup. So it's asking about 30 amp. Okay, a 30 amp is not going to be for the outlet we're going to be using. So we're going to drop select by pushing the button and dial. We're going to drop it way down. So it's a 15 amp outlet we're going to be using. You don't have to go 15 because it's going to trip. Okay, let's dial it down to approximately 10 for now. We'll be on the safe side instead of tripping the breaker for the AC in the house. Okay, so now you say choose the battery. We are now running flooded acid battery. That's why you need this remote to set up your batteries. And look, it's a AGM, AGM2. So you don't want AGM, you want to go custom. Custom, you see those batteries, the voltage, we have to crank this voltage all the way. It's a 16 volts. See, max at 16. So we go from there. It says it's a float because the lithium iron phosphate, it doesn't have a float. It has a float and charge is going to be the same. So equalizing, you can turn this off, but it's not going to go. So just leave it the way it is at 16. So let's check again. Is there equalizing? Even if you dial nothing, so equalizing is not going to work. So we want the batteries to charge at 100% because since they came from another vehicle, we don't know how these batteries has been utilized. So we want to make sure that we give them a proper charge for the first time. And down we're going to be regulating what we want. But since the BMK battery monitor kit for the Magnum is not here, we cannot able to use the state of charge or program the battery's capacity. Okay, the capacity is supposed to be a 75 amp hour times 2, which is a 150. But 150 we cannot do it right now because we don't have the BMK battery monitor kit to do the process for us. So leave it at the 80 volt, drop AC, and it's gonna ask us to absorb or whatever. So you turn this thing down. Okay, everybody is different the way you do things, you know. You can do whatever you want. So the lowest is this. So you don't need absorb time at all. But this one, there is no option where you can turn it off. So let's go back. Okay. And I think we're all done. We're all set. And you can even change the way you charge the batteries, like constant voltage and constant current. Okay, if you want to do that, I'll show you how you can go about it. All right, guys, we're back again. So this is what it is. You see here, you have a control. You can see auto connect. So that means you can tell when you go to, you can plug the AC input into this. The inverter automatically analyzes and started charging the batteries. Or you can go here and turn it off and tell it to be connected at volt DC connection, or you can do it at a time connection, or you can go state of charge. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't have the battery monitor kit here to do it because it's not gonna see it. Okay, so we can say, you see, AC line in disable, because it hasn't detected any of this device, the AC input. So if we go at voltage, we can set here, we can just go by and set it on a voltage or state of charge. We want to leave it on auto. So if you have the BMK hookup there, you can tell it to connect when the voltage drop at so. Like for us now, at a 12 volt system here, we can run about 16, and I can say about 12.8. Then this system can automatically connect the grid and start charging your batteries, and you can have any other stuff like a lot of loads or whatever. This system can be able to connect to help out. So it's a generator is here, and we don't have any generator hook up into the system right now. So let's leave it this way. And we can see favorites here. We can tell this machine to do a search mode if it finds a load at 5 watt, and it can start doing the search mode. So the battery type, so if you want to go back, sometimes you can be able to tell it all your configuration, whatever. We already selected this one, it's already on custom, so all our settings are still there. So don't mess with that anymore. We're done. So we have this thing. Anything it senses at 5 watt on the outlet, then it's gonna start inverting. So let's do the charging now, shall we? Like and subscribe. jwsolarusa. Meters. Go back to the meters. The inverter is off. When you fired up this button right here, there you go. Voila, we are back online. And we are now inverting due to our settings and everything turns out beautiful. And let's go back and see. See, now the inverter is pulsing right there. And now the outlet is pulsing here. If I turn the search mode off, the inverter started running. You can see your continuous. That's why you have a search mode. You can able to regulate how you want your inverter. If there's no load, doesn't sense anything 5 watts, but the default setting is 50 watt. Then the inverter kicks in. When it senses any load, the freezer, refrigerator, it kicks in right away. So right now we're pulsing and we're sitting at 14.3. Let's see if we can get his batteries charging. So now we're gonna take the AC wire. This is the one that goes to the grid to charge your batteries. So we're gonna plug it into one of these guys here, one of these outlets, and we plug this guy right here. And when we fired up this button right here, this switch, and it will automatically sense, you can see the charging flashing lights here. This light that's not illuminated right now is gonna start flashing. And watch this. There you go. I just switched the button, and the inverter is gonna sync with the grid. There you go. Hear that click? Sometimes if the batteries, it says the batteries are too high, the voltage is not going to charge. Like you have to set it on constant current, constant voltage. Now it's saying flow charge. So sometimes it's going to give you a hard time charging the batteries, you have to be on constant current, constant voltage to charge the batteries. Like and subscribe. So see, there you go. We bring in 51 amps, 14.4 volt, 56. You can hear the fan kicks in from the back here, blowing some cool air right now, and we are charging the batteries. This is how you go about the process, charging your batteries after you already test them, and now finally power is coming in into this little bank right here, which is going to be really charged at 16 volt. Like and subscribe. So if we decided to jump this thing a little bit down here, like I said earlier, and we go here and increase, sorry, I think it's that one. We go into, no, we can add this instead of 10 volt DC. Okay, no, sorry, this is a mistake right here. The low battery cutoff, it says a 10 volt. This is not a 10 volt. We can increase this one to whatever one, the low battery cutoff here. Okay, let's say 12.2 is the default. That's the highest it can go. So this is the, I missed that function, I'm sorry. I would have showed you guys that function. That's a low battery disconnects, and which is a 12.2 is the highest it can go. You can see the arrow. I cannot go further. I can bring it down, but disconnect at this one. And right now we can increase this input amps from the grid. Let's try 12 if you're gonna trip the breaker. Well, anyway, let's go put this one back here. You can see the amps gonna start going up. So it depends to the power strip as well. We don't want to overload this thing. It takes all about 1500 watts. So right now, if we pull in about 12 amps, if you do the calculation, 12 times 120 volts. So you can see exactly. Oh, we can come here, probably do the DC part, maybe. Let's see here. Inverter, that's watts. 12. Okay, this is where you set up the timing when you want it to charge, when automatically connect to the grid, you know, if you want that, all the good stuff. The state of charge, you want your battery to deplete only about 50%, all of a sudden it automatically kick in and charge them all the way to 100 or 90% if you want to. So I can able to go like the state of charge connect at 50, so I can say maybe 80%, then it's gonna connect, or 70%. So for this application, 70% state of charge is the nominal of that battery. Okay, that's gonna be the 3.5, I suppose, instead of 4.2 per cell. So it's a 3.5. So as a nominal thing, is 70%, and we can say it can only charge all the way to 90. You know, how we want it, into 90% or 100%. So right now we can just leave it the way it is. So this is the thing. I think if you use the I can see the temperature. It's gonna tell us 77 degrees Fahrenheit on the battery sensor, but it's those sensor hook up there. The transformer, that's the transformer, is gonna telling us 120. The transformer with the heat, and the transistors tells you the transistors. So if the generator was hooked up there, it's gonna tell you the temperature of the generator thing, but it's not there. So the revision is gonna give us the inverter 1.6, and the remote is a 3.0.10, and AG, that's an automatic generator start. We don't have a hookup there, and battery monitor kit version is no hookup. The BMK and the router is not even hooked up to this as well. So we can see that's the inverter. So it tells you the MMS 1012. This is the version of my inverter. Even if it's not posted, or it doesn't stick on the it doesn't have a sticker, by having this remote is gonna tell you exactly the model of your inverter. Okay, so you have the fault history and all that kind of cool stuff. You know, do your pin setup there, These are all the controls, guys. Low default, you can go back how you want it. Like and subscribe, jwsolarusa. Thanks for watching, and I love you guys all. We're charging the batteries. Stay tuned. I was gonna see the, let's see, remote. Okay, this is how you do the clock and the backlight as well. The backlights, you can able to adjust it at a 50%, or remember, before you want to do any changes, you have to push the center button. That's a select. Then you can increase the brightness. See how it is? 100% or 50%. And you can go power saving mode. If you want to put it 15 minutes, then the screen's gonna go off to just protect your screen from burning out. Stay on for all the time. I've seen a lot of people does it, so now I can push it like a 1 minute. So you can see Fahrenheit display, because we want a Fahrenheit or Celsius. We can do this. It tells us both for both international and for here in the United States as well. Since I'm here in the United States, it stays on Fahrenheit. So these are all the stuff you're gonna be having live here at the jwsolarusa. Thanks for watching, and let's watch. And now it's over 1 minute, and you see it just went off. So now it's charging us, it's telling us that we're on a float charging. So it's putting the power there, and if these batteries were hungry, trust me guys, you will see a lot of amps going on into that thing. We have a long way. It's supposed to be saying absorb, but I think as another function on my Magnum, main Magnum, I can able to go ahead and change and make it tell it to start at a bulk charge. So I will explain that next time. So instead of starting at a flow charge, you're gonna go bulk. Like and subscribe. Bye for now. And this is how we set up the batteries and everything configured here. I hope it helps someone. Bye for now. Alright guys, we're getting winding down towards the charging, because the voltage was set at 16 volt. So we have only a millivolt to complete the 16 volt that's gonna consider to be as a full charge. And you guys can see as the amperage is dropping, the voltage is rising, and everything is working fine. And you can see equalizing, floating, charging, because I had it on constant charging, constant voltage, constant charging, and constant amps. So that's why you're seeing equalizing, all that thing is coming out, because everything is constant charging, constant voltage, constant amperage or charging. They're all working. And what I did, I switched the monitor, because I already used this one and programmed that before from the previous on my big system. So you have all the settings there. I took this one off, and I'm just gonna get all the settings there, and it's doing it. It stays on the constant charging, the CC, constant current, constant voltage. So it's doing all that kind of stuff. So if you watch, and the amperage was 29 and it's dropping 26, going down, and we were pushing almost 60 amps earlier, and the fans are kind of cooling down, and it's not going into higher RPMs anymore, and just a little bit warm, and the air coming out from the back here, the exhaust is really warm now. So I just want to show you guys the battery's almost charged. Remember the video, and look at 24 amps. He's drumming. He's just filling up the battery till it turns 16, and all of a sudden everything gonna die out. It just stopped. That means that's a complete charge for these Volkswagen e-Golf battery right here. So we got them all charged and ready to fire up, ready to go. Guys, this is the system. This is for the other portable generator with the Ryobi box. So this is where they already mounted. You can see I just packed this thing and slide it all the way in. So we have another drop again here. It's 23 amps. So till it reaches the number, remember the BMK is not installed, but I can able to trick it, since this battery monitor was installed on the other system, and it's locked into the constant charge, the CC, constant charge, constant voltage, constant current. So I can able to utilize that feature right there, so they can bring the amperage and the voltage simultaneously, so everything is going to be like equalized or be in equilibrium, running at the same time. So this is what it is. Sometimes you have to have it on constant voltage and constant current, or else you can charge some lithium, particular lithium ion batteries. So this is what it is. Just want to share with you, and everything is running cool, and all the little configuration I have here I hope you like. So all this thing, I'm waiting for my I ordered some bus bars from Volkswagen e-Golf, and when they come I might probably have a jumper probably that designed for this, because they have all kind of weird connectors for their batteries, how they set up. Like I said, I didn't even have the opportunity to open an old battery on a Volkswagen e-Golf yet, but maybe in the near future it's gonna happen, because I think people are keeping those vehicles. Even my vendor was saying those vehicles don't just go like that, like other people think, you know, constant, all kind of batteries, all kind of vehicles, all kind of batteries seen out there. So these vehicles, they're meant to, they can keep them, and it's not like they can just discard them. They don't find them that much maybe salvage at all. So this is the system, and this is what I'm just elaborating about, and pretty soon we're winding down and we're gonna end the video right here. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions, ask back and maybe I can get back to you, or keep watching the videos on the playlist that will help you understand what I'm doing right here. jwsolarusa, live in Minnesota. Alright guys, we're now on the completion of the batteries charge. So we sit at a 15.9 volt, since the charger was required at 16 volt. So for this 12 volt configuration, was sitting earlier at 8 before I grabbed the camera back, and now we are 0. So it's still charging. Probably we're on the instead of an amp, maybe it's going to be a milliamp. It's not even a complete amp anymore, so that's why it's not reading as a 1 amp, or maybe it's going to be 0.5 or 0.4, and all of a sudden this system here probably is going to say full charge or stop. The fans are still running, single fan, then you can see just to cool the system down. And let's check the temperature on these what the MOSFET or the transformer is reading right now, temperatures. So if you look at it keenly, we are bringing the right now it's like it's 25 degrees C, which the batteries like to be at 25 degrees C, which is 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So it gives you the Fahrenheit and this Celsius. So this is the transformers. The TFMAR is 61 degrees Celsius, which is 141 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature in there. These are the FETs. The MOSFETs are sitting at 34 degrees C, which is 93 degrees Fahrenheit. So guys, I just want to give you all the updates and these so that you can see the temperature at which the system was running internally to make this thing really runs better. And thank you for watching, and this is how I'm wrapping up the video, and all the batteries are charged. I'm considering it's a 100% charge, since it's still winding down till it's gonna go completely 0 and it's gonna shut off. Shutting off in the sense is like it stopped, the fan stopped running, and it's gonna be reading charge. Okay, live from the command center of the jwsolarusa. Thanks for being part of this channel and for watching this video all the way to the end. I'm trying to give you a full coverage how these batteries properly charge live here at the command center. So thank you guys to all my viewers and subscribers. Keep watching. Volkswagen e-Golf, awesome job. Thank you. Bye now.